Meek Mill forced me to go to Diddy's late night party. Diddy and Meek Mill treated me very bad.
The ongoing saga involving Sean Diddy Combs, Meek Mill, and Nicki Minaj has spiraled into one of the most explosive and talked about scandals in hip-hop history, blending decades-old rumors, leaked audio, lawsuits, and bitter ex-relationship drama into a perfect storm of accusations and denials. At the center of the latest wave of allegations is a lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones against Diddy in early 2024. In the complaint, Lil Rod claimed that while working on Diddy's most recent album, the mogul repeatedly bragged about having sexual relationships with multiple men in the industry and implied that such encounters were simply part of climbing the ladder in music. Although names were redacted, one footnote described a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, and another mentioned a singer who had performed at the Super Bowl. The internet immediately connected the dots. The Philadelphia rapper could only be Meek Mill, Nicki's ex-boyfriend from 2015 to 2017, and the Super Bowl performer was widely assumed to be Usher. The footnote alone was enough to send social media into a frenzy, but things escalated dramatically when an explicit audio clip began circulating online that purportedly captured Diddy and Meek Mill in an intimate moment. The male voices on the recording could be heard moaning and exchanging words that left little to the imagination. While the audio has never been definitively authenticated, its release coincided perfectly with the lawsuit revelations and reignited long-standing down-low rumors about both men that have followed them for years. Enter Jaguar Wright, the outspoken R&B singer who has positioned herself as one of Diddy's most persistent critics. In a series of viral interviews, Jaguar claimed that the leaked tape was recorded years ago at one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties in Calabasas, and that the person who originally captured it and held on to it all this time was none other than Nicki Minaj herself. According to Jaguar, Nicki had been sitting on the recording as revenge against Meek ever since their messy breakup, waiting for the precise moment when dropping it would do the most damage, namely, after Diddy's empire began crumbling under multiple sexual assault lawsuits and federal raids. Jaguar alleged that Nicki even paid an intermediary to take credit for the leak so that her own name would never be directly attached. Nicki and Meek's relationship, once one of the most high-profile romances in rap, ended acrimoniously in early 2017. What started as lovey-dovey Instagram posts and joint tour appearances eventually devolved into public shade, subliminal disses in songs, and a physical confrontation at a high-end clothing store in West Hollywood in 2020. In recent years, Nicki has been more open about the alleged abuse she suffered during their relationship. In emotional clips from her upcoming documentary series, she tearfully recounted vowing as a little girl never to let a man mistreat her the way she saw her father treat her mother, only to find herself in the exact same situation years later. Though she stopped short of naming Meek directly in the teaser, the timing and context made it clear to most observers who she was talking about. Meek quickly sent her a cease and desist letter demanding that his name and likeness be removed from the project. The bad blood goes deeper than just the breakup. Nicki has accused Meek of physical violence on multiple occasions, kicking her so hard that she had to go to the hospital, spitting on her, and even striking his own sister, an incident he allegedly recorded. She also implied that Meek's aggressive behavior stemmed from insecurity, mocking him in one tweet barrage with the line, "Sucking Drake's dick made you feel tough again," a reference to long-standing rumors that Meek is secretly bisexual and that his hyper-masculine street persona is a front. Meek has vehemently denied ever hitting Nicki or any woman, and has fired back by bringing up her husband Kenneth Petty's criminal history and her brother's child rape conviction, accusing her of hypocrisy and clout chasing. As the Diddy allegations intensified, Meek took the unusual step of publicly offering $100,000 to any investigative team that could prove how and why his name keeps getting dragged into the federal probe against Diddy. He insists he has never had any sexual contact with the mogul and that powerful forces in the media are deliberately trying to destroy his reputation. His defensive Twitter rants, threatening DJ Academic, promising to show how to hurt computer geeks, and then abruptly declaring the whole thing a prank, only fueled more suspicion that he was protesting too much. DJ Academic, a longtime Meek associate turned occasional antagonist, confirmed on stream that the Philadelphia rapper referenced in the Lil Rod lawsuit was indeed Meek, claiming multiple sources inside Diddy's camp had verified it. When Academic gently prodded Meek to address the rumors head-on, Meek instead turned his anger toward the streamer, blocking him and posting cryptic threats about meeting in person. The exchange was widely interpreted as deflection. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal troubles have continued to mount. since Cassie Ventura filed her bombshell lawsuit in November 2023 accusing him of years of physical and sexual abuse. At least a dozen more accusers have come forward, including several men. Federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami in March 2024 as part of a sex trafficking investigation. Former employees, bodyguards, and associates have gone on record describing a culture of coercion, spiked drinks, hidden cameras, and after-parties that allegedly devolved into orchestrated orgies. Some of the most lurid claims involve Diddy allegedly pressuring male artists and industry figures into sexual acts as a form of initiation or control. Against this backdrop, old stories have resurfaced. Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal claiming he once walked in on suspicious situations involving Diddy and male rappers. Rumors from the early 2000s linking Diddy to Usher when Usher was a teenager living in his home. Blind items on gossip sites for years alleging that certain high-profile rappers signed to or closely associated with Bad Boy were expected to pay to play in more ways than one. Nicki Minaj, for her part, has remained strategically quiet about the Diddy-Meek tape itself, but has liked and retweeted numerous posts celebrating Meek's public humiliation. Fans see this as confirmation of Jaguar Wright's narrative that Nicki orchestrated the leak as the ultimate act of revenge against an abusive ex at the exact moment his alleged former lover's kingdom was collapsing. Whether the audio is real or a sophisticated deepfake, whether Nicki truly recorded it years ago at a Calabasas mansion party, and whether Meek Mill was an active participant in Diddy's private life remain unproven. What is undeniable is that the combination of federal raids, civil lawsuits with graphic accusations, a viral sex tape, and one of the messiest celebrity breakups in recent memory has turned the Diddy-Meek-Nicki triangle into the hip-hop scandal of the decade, a non-stop cycle of allegations, denials, leaked evidence, and social media warfare that shows no signs of dying down anytime soon. The ongoing saga involving Sean Diddy Combs, Meek Mill, and Nicki Minaj has spiraled into one of the most explosive and talked about scandals in hip-hop history, blending decades-old rumors, leaked audio, lawsuits, and bitter ex-relationship drama into a perfect storm of accusations and denials. At the center of the latest wave of allegations is a lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones against Diddy in early 2024. In the complaint, Lil Rod claimed that while working on Diddy's most recent album, the mogul repeatedly bragged about having sexual relationships with multiple men in the industry and implied that such encounters were simply part of climbing the ladder in music. Although names were redacted, one footnote described a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, and another mentioned a singer who had performed at the Super Bowl. The internet immediately connected the dots. The Philadelphia rapper could only be Meek Mill, Nicki's ex-boyfriend from 2015 to 2017, and the Super Bowl performer was widely assumed to be Usher. The footnote alone